So now we can proceed with our third step, that is update the record. So updating record means what we have to do is we have to similarly what we have done for the insert operation, we have to go to the update folder and we have to loop through each file that is in the update folder, and from each file based on the product name and the seller name we have to identify that particular record which need to be updated, and then we need to click on the edit button and then we need to update the price as specified in the file, and that is what we have to do for all other files that is coming under the update folder. So let me just specify the step here. So before that, let me comment this yeah, not put print here because we don't require this, because it was used to check whether our data is being extracted finally or not. That's why we use it here. Okay, you can see that our data from the PDF was extracted fine. So let me write the next step, that is, oh sorry, uh, uh, update the records. So here you have to make the keyword define. So for making the keyword define, you can create a keyword cell and you can use update the records. Now you have to add the functionality to this keyword so that whenever the robot calls this keyword, it should update the record or it should do the operation of updating the records. So the first step is what? First, we have to retrieve all the file path, that all the file path of all the files that are present in the update folder. For retrieving the file path, we can use the list files in directory which is under rpa.file system. So we can do that to retrieve the file path of all files in the update folder. So for that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you specify the variable which will store all the file path. And you can variable list files in directory. Yeah. Now, sorry, list files in directory. Now you have to specify the folder path from which you need to retrieve the file path. So the folder path is actually the update folder. So let me just copy the folder path. We have to make some changes here itself. Instead of insert, we have to provide update. One, two. Instead of insert, we have to provide update. Okay, so we are retrieving all the file path of the files that are present in the update folder. Next, after retrieving all the file path, next we have to iterate through each file path and then extract the detail and then update the record. So for iterating through each files in the given list files, we have to use for loop. So use for file, just create a variable file in, sorry, at files. Now you can specify the steps like for extracting the data from PDF and updating the record. So for extracting the details from the PDF, we can use the already created keyword, that is extract the data from PDF. So it actually helps to extract the data from the PDF by providing the file path, and it will return product name, seller and price which we require from the PDF file. So let me just specify that here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can create 3 variables as we had created product name, seller price, extract the data from PDF. We have to pass the file file path as an argument to this keyword. 1 2 file. Now, so after extracting the product name, seller and price using this keyword, next what we have to do is we have to update the records. So first we have to so for updating the record, we have to find the record based on the product name and seller as specified in the PDF file, and then you have to click on the edit button, and then you have to update the price, and then you have to click on the update button to update the record. So for that, first what you have to do, so for updating the record, you have to click on the edit button based on the product name and the seller name. So for that, for actually we need to click the edit element or edit this edit option. So for the clicking that element, you can use uh, click element keyword, which is coming under rpa.browser, and we are actually designing this click element in such a way that it will click the edit element based on the product name and seller which we are passing as an argument, which we are extracting from the files. Okay, so we can specify the locator here for this click element keyword. So for specifying the locator, let me just right click. So let's write the locator for this edit button. So we are actually writing the locator or XPath for this edit element in such a way that it will be selected, or this edit button will be selected corresponding to the product name and the seller name which we are providing as an input. So for instance, or for a sample, we can utilize, we can actually create the XPath for the edit button corresponding to the product name, laptop and seller ABC. Then we can generalize it in general way, so using the variables. So for that, let me go to this. Let me create the XPath for this. Yeah. Let me explore the values inside the attributes TD. I think if you look at the laptop values, there is a space actually, you can see, and there is ABC, there is also a white spaces. So I think it seems that there is some white spaces actually here. You can see there are spaces actually. For example, for demonstrating that, if you actually insert your own record, let's say my record is JTK, this is 1000, and let me create a sample record. And if I go to that record, you can see that there is no spaces. You can see, yeah, there is a spaces here, but there is no spaces in the case of product name and seller actually. But if you look at the record laptop, there is indeed a space here. So I think before writing the, or before inputting the product details into the website, I think we had to remove these white spaces. Okay, so for removing the white spaces, I think we can go back to our Robocop Lab IDE to correct that. Otherwise, it will become a big issue actually while inputting the data. So for actually correcting that white spaces, what we can do is we can remove the white spaces from that particular string. So for that, we can utilize strip string keyword, which is present under string library. So where we can place this, where we can do this action, we can do this action in the extract the data from the PDF keyword itself. So before returning the values or returning the result, what we can do is we can strip the string so that all the white spaces in the resultant string are removed. Okay, so for that we can utilize which keyword? We can utilize strip string keyword. Yeah, so it will remove all the white spaces, trailing white spaces from a string. So it is coming under string library itself, so which we had already imported. So we can do this for the three variables, that is product name, seller and price. So, and we can actually store the result of this strip string in three different variables. We give the name as product underscore name, which will actually store the output after stripping this string. So, now let me copy this one here. So it will strip this product name and it will store in the product underscore name variable. Okay. Now can use seller underscore name, and now you can utilize strip string keyword. Yeah. Now you can pass. Yeah. It will actually remove the white spaces actually. Okay. Now you can use sorry, price only. You can strip the string. So instead of passing these values, we can pass product underscore name, seller underscore name, and price underscore name as return or as an output from this. Extract the data from PDF keyword, because it will actually this product underscore name, seller underscore name, and price underscore name will contain the product name, seller name, and price detail without any white spaces at the trailing or end. So instead of these, we can pass output as product underscore name, then seller underscore name, and price underscore name. So as a good practice, whenever you are extracting some data or whenever you are extracting the string from some string variable, before using in some other purposes, try to remove the trailing white spaces by using this strip string keyword. Okay, it's a good practice. So now let's see whether this is actually working or not. Okay, so let me just comment this update keyword, because we are not going to use this one, because we are going to check whether this white space is being removed by using this strips string keyword. So let me just delete and close this one and start. We can click on restart. Yeah. So let's check that here. See whether that white space is removed or not. Yeah, the white space is being removed. Okay, so now let's proceed to our update the record keyword. So here what we are doing, we are actually creating the locator for click element keyword. So to click the edit button corresponding to the product name and seller details. So let me just create the locator for this edit button. Click on inspect and edit button. Okay, let me create the edit button. So actually I am designing the locator for this edit button in such a way that it will click the edit button corresponding to the given product name and seller name. which we are actually extracting from the PDF. Okay, so for a sample, I am testing with the first row, that is with the product name laptop and seller ABC, whether it is working or not. Okay, laptop, yeah, and to ABC, yeah, yeah. Now this is 2, 3, 4, 5. So TD5 slash IMG. Yeah. So it is able to select the edit button corresponding to the product name laptop and seller ABC, since we have provided it as input. So let me copy this one here and pass it as a argument to the click element keyword. One, two, yeah. So you can see that locator that we have used, and now instead of this laptop and ABC, we have to pass the variables. So the laptop is a product name, so we can pass the product name which is being generated from the extract the data from PDF keyword. Okay. And seller details, yeah, cool. So after clicking the edit button, what happens? The data will be displayed here. Now what you have to do, based on the price detail that we had extracted from the PDF, we need to update the price detail here, and then we have to click on the update button. So next is what we have to input our price details into this price field to update the price. So for that we can use input text, and then we can pass the locator of this price field, right? Put id equal to price. Now we have to pass the uh, data which we need to type into the price field. So now text. Yeah. So after inputting the text, what we have to do? We have to click on update button. So for that we can use click button keyword, which is coming under RPA.browser library. So for that we had to pass the locator of the update button. Yeah. You can use ID of the button as an locator. Let me copy this. One, two. So like I'm recommending that like after clicking the edit button, you can put a delay here, because since the process is very fast and it occurs like after click button directly go to input text, so you can provide some delay there so that it won't fall into any error, like not seeing that or something. So in order to prevent that, you can use the sleep keyword, which will provide a delay. So let's provide a delay of, let's say, 2 seconds. 2 seconds. So since this is all our process actually, like this is actually what we are doing for one file, like extracting the data from PDF, clicking the edit button, and then inputting the price details, and then updating the clicking on the update button to update the record. And next we can put the end. Okay. So this is what our update the record step. So what we are doing here, we are extracting all the file path in the update folder. We are looping through each file and we are extracting the details, and then we are doing the update operation. Okay. So let me come uncomment this one. So let me just run this process to see whether it's working fine or not. Restart. So it's insert in the records. Yeah, you can see that from 50,000 it has updated the price to 60,000, which is actually present in our file in the update folder. So our update the record is also working fine.